All right. Kris Murray from Iowa, predicted probably all Big Ten, having a great season. Let's kind of dive into that from the get-go. So you guys struggle a little bit early. You miss some time. Patrick takes his leave of absence. We're in the Super Bowl week now, and you're right back in the thick of it in the Big Ten. There's a logjam, but you're in third based on the tiebreakers. You feel like people kind of wrote you off a little bit early?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, like a month ago, we were 0-3, dead last in the conference to start Big Ten play. So I mean, we were out off 7 of the last 9. So I mean, we're playing as well as we have all year. I mean, it's easy for like once you start 0-3 in Big Ten play, just kind of write yourself off, write your team off, like lose that team chemistry. But like, I don't think anyone really on our team gave up. And I think that's what helped us a lot. Just win one game at a time. And we knew we were capable of doing that. And I mean, we're doing it now.
Yeah, so the dynamic, right, obviously on paper or on a scouting report, if it ever leaked, it'd be like, stop Kris Murray, right? And that makes sense, obviously, with your scoring average. But I feel like the dynamic has been a bunch of guys stepping up. You saw it the other day with Perk. Rebraka can have his games. Obviously, when Pat gets going, Connor stepped up. Ulis had a big game. Like, it's one of those, it's almost like the sum of the parts. Does that help you a little bit to alleviate having different options with where it's not just like if those old Jimmer teams, like, hey, if Kris doesn't score 40, like, we're screwed.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's when we're at our best, honestly, is when we have like more balanced scoring. And that's when we're tougher to stop. It's not just when you got to focus on stopping one person. That I feel like that's easier to do, especially playing in the Big Ten. It's like when we got guys like Tony putting up 30, Patrick playing well, Connor's hitting shots, Peyton can go from 0 points to 25 just like that, and Philip too. So I mean, when we got guys scoring, like when it's more balanced, I feel like that's when we're tougher to beat because you got to guard everyone. And then space in the floor makes it harder to stop our guys.
Yeah. And my guy Carter Kingsbury hasn't even got going yet. So like, wait till we break him out,
He's the key to it all.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are deep. But was there like a conversation of that collective effort? You know what I mean? Where it's like, or I guess just a different element of like in game. Hey, it's Perk's game. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, just almost just boosting each guy up. Be like, all right, tonight's my night. Tonight's his night. Like, feed the options that work.
Yeah, like, it just comes naturally. Like I never go into a night saying like, oh, like I'm just gonna take over, put my head down, trash score every single time. It just comes naturally for me. But then, like when we were playing Illinois, we just kept running plays for Tony, just play after play after play, because he had the hot hand. And I mean, we did the same thing for Peyton when we played up at Rutgers. I think you're at that game.
Yeah.
When Payne got going, we just kept running plays for him. So I mean, it just comes natural. Like we don't have it set on like who the opponent is, like what advantage we can take out of it. It just kind of comes during the game, during the flow of the game. We got a veteran squad too, so I think we don't got any selfish guys on our team. People who just want to chuck up shots because they want to get their scoring averages up. We just got a lot of unselfish guys who just want to win games.
So Coach McCaffery, I like a lot, obviously. Mm-hmm. His offense at times, I know you guys run plays and there's different things, but it almost seems like he's very laid back on the sideline of kind of putting guys in the right spots. Or, all right, hey, we're just going to go, and how it works out, it works out. What's the, I guess, key to his offense of giving guys freedom or putting guys in the right spot? Like, what's really been working for you in that?
Yeah. Honestly, it's just our motion offense, and we just read off of each other, just play free basketball. I think that just gives a lot of guys confidence knowing that like the ball is going to find you at some point and you're going to be able to hit a big shot. But no, for me, it's just being able to move without the ball is the biggest thing I've learned this year, just because I'm hard to guard when I'm just not standing there. And I think just being able to read our point guards, just read the game of basketball, honestly, has been good for me. I think that's helped a lot. That's where I've grown the most, I feel like, this year. But no, he's really laid back in how we play. Like there'll be different games where we'll need to run more sets and just kind of go within the flow of the game. But no, we usually play free basketball, just read off each other. Just keep it pretty simple, honestly.
Yeah, there's times on the offensive end where he's kind of just he's got the hands in the pockets. It's like, I trust my guys, you know, so it's interesting to see. Now, you said laid back. I like him, and I obviously, we've seen him get heated up. I know he's got some great one-liners, having met him and hung out with him. What's some of the best one-liners you've had in the 3 years there?
I don't know. Last year he would tell me, just wake up. That's one that gets me going a lot. If he says that to me, it only takes me one time. But we got smart guys. So if he says something one time, like, that's it. He's not gonna have to repeat himself. But no, he has some good one-liners. He's obviously a very intense coach, as you see on TV sometimes, but his love for his players never wavers. So that's the thing that really brought me to Iowa too, was just how he stands up for his players. He's a player's coach, loves his guys, and will always fight for them no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, you see that obviously this year with his son, and even after those like timeouts, I'm sure, you know, the flipping out, like he'll pull you aside and make sure things are right. It's good to have that balance because it's obviously working. The other thing too about McCaffery, so Luka comes in as 105th prospect in his class, right? You were 333, Keegan was 334. So a couple different things off of that. One, our recruiting rankings bullshit because you can't really. So if your system, I might watch you in some AAU tournament or a couple AAU tournaments or a high school game. Do you think we're really even getting the full aspect of a player in these recruiting rankings? Is it possible to equate guys equally?
I just think it's so hard to, just because like, you think of like level of basketball, like what guys are playing in high school and prep school, and it's just hard to like match them up compared to other guys. I feel like, unless you get every single person in a camp, but even then it's tough to do that as well. So I mean, yeah, Keegan and I weren't very well known like in the high school rankings. Like, not many of those like top recruiting analysts or whatever like saw us really, so it was just kind of a guesstimate for them. You got guys like Zach Edey, who's front runner for National Player of the Year this year, who probably wasn't even ranked. No one probably knew about him at all. He's probably lower than Keegan and I. So I mean, you just got guys like that just come out of nowhere who can play basketball, who are good basketball players, but just didn't get recognition in high school. So I think, yeah, it's definitely a tough. I think it's probably one of the toughest jobs, just to be a high school, just to make those rankings, honestly, just because you have so many different opinions coming at you, things like that. But no, I mean, it definitely gives people, I would say it gives them, it makes them, for me, it made me feel like I was undervalued, I guess. But like, I wasn't one to like look at recruiting rankings really. It's just, for me, the dog for me came out of like, I was really recruited at all. So that's kind of what helped me a lot, and gave me that confidence. So I mean, it's definitely a tough job to make all those recruiting rankings. And
It's a tough job, but you know what's interesting is there's never any like going back to it. So like
no.
right now, whoever would put you guys at 333, 334, ever put Edey, that guy's probably still doing it. He's out. It's like he just gets to be wrong, and there's never any like, hold on a sec. Like the same with NFL draft grades. Like now we have freezing cold takes and stuff like that. But like there should be a whole like study or like published thing. Be like, you were wrong on this many guys. Like you don't get to just keep doing it. He's out there just throwing missed starts left and right.
Yeah, and like not even close too, because then you got, because like I think they do the rankings like for college, right?
Yeah,
that not like professional, like future, like what they would see them as. So I mean, yeah, it's tough. I mean, they usually just go off of like the offers you get, probably.
yeah. It's too many to see, and there's too many AAU games. That's a whole other. But so off of that though, obviously, so Luka comes in. That means a third of the country can get a prospect better than him. So like if they were doing a draft, a third of the country gets a player better than him, which is a crazy statement. The entire country, Division I, gets better players than you and your brother, which is insane. Now I know you've obviously put in the work, and you and Luka and all those guys like did all that. I'm not taking any of that away, but there's no coincidence here that guys go to Fran and elevate the game. So I guess it's like, what is he doing to instill confidence in you, or what is he doing to break out those skills, or what's he see that other people didn't miss on because he's hitting on gems left and right. And then obviously, you have an okay freshman year, blowout, elevate last year, blowout this year. Your brother definitely wasn't the 5th pick in mock drafts going into last year, and then just blows through the roof when he's the guy. So like Luka obviously made himself into a pro. Like it seems like guys go to him and it's all working out. So what's being done behind the scenes at Iowa that he's turning these uncut gems into like big time rocks?
Yeah, I just honestly think it's just like the way we play just gives guys a lot of confidence. And I think Coach McCaffery is really good at just finding like those guys who just have that underdog mentality, who just want to get better. And then he just instills that confidence in you. So I don't think it's nothing crazy that we do. We have really good player development at our program. So yeah, that definitely helps a lot. But he just finds guys who just want to work and get better. And like people, like when I came my freshman year to campus, I just saw like how hard Luka worked, the kind of player that he had become, and just hearing like stories about him from our weightlifting coach, different assistant coaches, really just kind of showed me that like, shoot, like I can do what he does maybe if I just put in the work. So I think, and Keegan saw that too. He definitely, the way Keegan came into college was a completely different player than he was in high school. Like he was just a strictly 3-point shooter, and like you saw him post up, go for rebounds. Like I'm pretty sure in high school he averaged like 2 rebounds a game. Like didn't care about going to the O glass or anything. But yeah, it's nothing special that we do. I don't think it's just the confidence that coach instills in us, and just the way we play. Just gives guys confidence that if you screw up, you're not gonna get pulled out right away. Like he's not gonna have a super short leash with you. And yeah, I mean, we just have a great group of guys around us. It's a player-led program. And I think that's what Coach McCaffery emphasizes a lot.
Do you think it helps? I know your brother left a little bit early, and then your future, you obviously know where you are. I'm not asking that, but having a veteran leadership type program where it's program players at Iowa, like you're not seeing the top prospect in the draft go in and everybody knows he's on a 3-month rental. And that's we're moving away from that in college basketball. Even programs that are, they make themselves on this big storied reputation like Duke and Kentucky. They're renting these kids for 3 years, and that's fine. Go make your money. It is kind of bullshit that they even have to be there. If they could go make $1 million at 18, if you were going to start a plumbing business, you could do that. So that's the whole other thing. But being in this veteran program, like you said, and watching guys come in as a freshman and then they turn into sophomores, or when you get there, he's a junior, he's a leader, he's a presence on the team. And then when he's a senior, all right, it's his show. Do you think that helps? Obviously the progression of guys like, your brother, Luka, who obviously watched it happen.
Yeah, I think that honestly is why we've had so much, like we've had success in these last few years, just because we've had veterans be there for like our freshmen. And that's like just been a staple of our program since Coach McCaffery's been here, is just like having those veteran guys to kind of lead the young guys on. And then eventually those young guys become veterans. And like, it's just worked like that, like over time. I think that's what's helped us a lot, just to keep our consistency every single year. And yeah, I mean, nowadays, everyone just wants to go pro. I feel like they don't value the college game as much, and they don't want it. They just look to college as like just a way to get to the next level, not like a way to where you can get better and improve your game. It's just like a stopping point for some people. So I think what our program's done is it's a little different now, in this day and age of college basketball with NIL and all that stuff. And I just think he's built a really good program, just a consistent program where you have young guys, you have guys in the middle who are going to become that. So I honestly think it's just a great situation, but it's in Iowa, so a lot of people don't really give us a second thought.
No, I mean, that's the thing too. Like growing up, they weren't, I know they had a couple of teams with success, but for the most part, like Iowa wasn't really successful. So this run and what he's done, I think should be, and what you guys are doing, obviously, it's making people care about Iowa. For a long time, I don't remember really any good Iowa teams, so like that's putting your stamp on somewhere is definitely something to be commended.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, especially in our program, just want to leave the program in a better place than they left it. So I think that's helped us a lot too. And I think everyone who visits and eventually commits to the University of Iowa, just loves the way we play. I think it's just a really fun brand of basketball that we play. And it's entertaining too, especially watching on TV. It's probably pretty fun to watch.
Yeah. So you tested the waters last summer, right, with those draft
Yeah.
camps. Help me through kind of how that works. Is that like just a dog and pony show where you go work out, like, all right, you go work out for the Kings and then you work out for the Knicks and you work out for the Bulls? The way I look at it is like if somebody was going to buy a TV, right, and they walk into Best Buy and they're like, you know what, it doesn't have these specifics. And then like you put on your show and then, all right, Kris, thanks. See you later. And now they're just looking to buy the specific TV that fits their requirements. Or is there true feedback from these guys where they care about, hey, this is what you can do to get better. Like I think it benefits you to go back to school or try to improve this, whatever. And then in a year, when we're buying a TV again, you'll be a nicer model. You know what I mean? Like, or are they truthfully just using you as a show and then you're gone? Or are they really trying to work with you to help your game?
Yeah. I was there. I did pre-draft for 2 months, I think. So I went there like early April. And then I don't think the combine was till like the middle of May, and then the draft's obviously in June. But no, like you definitely get feedback from every single team because during the combine, it's like, so the guys that I worked out with, all in a group, we worked out in front of every single NBA team at the combine. And then other organizations do that as well. So they do that all like during a couple of days span. So every single team gets like a good look at you and is able to give you feedback. So the person that I worked out with was able to, or he gets like a written thing from like all the NBA teams, and you kind of see like where you could potentially be drafted at, but it's just like a guesstimate from like the NBA executives. So you don't really know too much, but yeah, I was probably pretty like 50-50 on going in or not. But honestly, I just wanted to come back and just create a name for myself because like I get lumped into like being Keegan's brother. I get lumped. People don't know my name a lot, and they just think of me as Keegan's brother, or didn't even know that he had a twin at all. Like if you watch one of our games last year, you'd have seen there's two different guys on the court.
Well, yes. So that cracks me up too. In high school, you're lefty, he's righty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many defenders or coaches, morons, screwed that up?
People still let me go left to this day. Like it's unreal. It's unreal. But no, when I was younger, not even when I was younger, I was still in high school. I used to dribble for free throws. I used to dribble with my right hand, spin it, and then shoot with my left. Some people always make fun of me for that, so I had to switch it. But no, Keegan's a natural lefty, but my dad taught him how to shoot right-handed like when he was younger, and he tried to teach me how to shoot right-handed too, because my dad's also right-handed, but I just never like would do it. I would shoot with like two hands, so he was easier to train to shoot right-handed than me, so he just kind of stuck with it.
Yeah, I could just see that. They're like, force them left. And you're like, all right, here we go. So
it's unreal the amount of left-hand layups I get. And it's unreal. Like I don't know.
I know. Maybe we'll cut this, because now the scouting report's out, obviously. So
it should still. You should have lefty in big bold print on the scouting report.
Yeah, it goes to show like who pays attention to game prep. So obviously the Big Ten is I've been to your place, went to Rutgers, and like it's a nightmare fest. Wisconsin, obviously, Purdue, which we'll get to, but these Big Ten arenas, like, is it just a war? Is it just a war zone? Like from the minute you get on the bus to get on the plane, like you're already in this, like, oh Jesus, I don't want to go. It's like going to the dentist. Like these places are really lit up, right?
Yeah, it's unreal, honestly. Just the amount of the tough places to play in the Big Ten. You got the Breslin Center, RAC, Mackey, Assembly Hall. Just tough places to play in general. Probably toughest in the country. But no, it's just it's fun to play in those environments because like especially coming out with a win, there's no like feeling that beats that. But we know going into it, it's gonna be tough to win on the road in the Big Ten. So we really just try to play with nothing to lose, honestly, in those places.
Yeah, so I asked Zach to rank or which one's the toughest. I'm gonna change the question for you because you touched on all the Keegans, bro. Who's got the corniest student section in the Big Ten? because Michigan State was doing some corny stuff. So I don't want to put words in your mouth, but who's got the one you're like, man, like, you guys stink. Like, it's just corny chants, corny colors, whatever it may be. Who's got the corniest student section in the Big Ten?
The only ones that stand, like every student section just says the same thing to me. Like they just say Keegan's better, or it's like Keegan's better every single time, or you're not gonna be as good as Keegan or whatever. But Ohio State, like that was their only thing they said to me. Someone was making fun of my eyelashes at Ohio State. I'm like, okay, I mean, I'll take that as a compliment, I guess. And then yeah, Michigan State, they're all about the Keegan chants. The rack wasn't too bad this year. I don't remember much from that. I was pretty locked in that game. I didn't really hear much of the crowd noise. We haven't played at Mackey yet, so I mean, yeah, you definitely get different student sections, but they usually keep it consistent with me. It's mostly just about Keegan.
So Thursday is the trip to Mackey, right?
Yeah.
So Purdue, I think they fell from one in the country, but there's a group of teams that are basically all the one seeds pretty kind of locked in. So Purdue, number one team in the country, let's call them. Edey obviously is a unicorn. I was really taken back talking to him of how processed he is, you know, and how calculated the things he considers and stuff like that. I just saw a clip the other day. He's practicing the hooks by himself, like over and over, because he knows that's the shot I'm going to take. Like he's super calculated like that. And you guys obviously don't have anybody who can match his size, but you have a lot of different things with the speed. What's going to be the difference, or I guess the key to take down Purdue Thursday?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be able to limit Zach. He's obviously a really good player, and a lot of the focus is going to be on him. But yeah, I mean, we're just going to throw a lot of things at him. Just defensively is going to where the game's going to be won at. So we're definitely going to have to be locked on that end. Just keep our rotations tight. But yeah, we beat them last time we played them, so we're definitely familiar with them, with their team. They got two new freshman guards who are playing really well. They got a veteran squad, so I mean it's definitely gonna be tough going to that arena, trying to pull out a win. But we're veteran too, and we've been playing really well lately. So we're just gonna try to keep our momentum going. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously you just look at the different styles of play. He's 740, obviously can dominate the paint, but can he run up and down for 40 minutes if you turn it into a track meet, So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. And if you guys hit shots, obviously you got a ton of different shooters. So I think that it's going to be really good. I bet you it's pretty much a coin flip type game. I'm looking forward to that one for sure. We touched on the different student sections and things like that. This one's a sponsored question because it's kind of made the news. The Iowa Boys and Girls Club has sponsored this question. They've been in the news lately. I don't know if you've been reading with the past couple of headlines, but you touched on like doing things the right way, and how you put yourself in the right spots through friends, offense. I guess to the kids watching right now, everything now is let's cut up a mixtape and like, can you go through the legs 40 times on Instagram and do the jelly fam? Jordan Walker's my boy, but if you can't do it like him, why waste your time in 5th grade?
Yeah.
When you watch your game, you make spectacular, significant plays, without a doubt, right? But there's also a lot of times you catch it on the wing, you take your 2 dribbles to hit your spot, and just take a jump shot. So I guess to the kids watching, like, is it a lost art to do the simple things right?
Yeah, the simple things is what's going to make you successful in the future. Honestly, it's just work on your one two dribble pull-ups, easy moves to get to the basket. Like there's nothing about my game that's flashy. Honestly, I just get the job done. I feel like I play a boring brand of basketball, but that's just what I've been taught. I've never been one to like do these crazy crossover between the legs moves. I just feel like that's not how basketball's played and how you're successful. So, and Keegan's the same way. Like he was the 5th pick and the 4th pick in the draft. Just playing simple basketball. You just got to be able to shoot, be able to handle the ball, be a good rebounder. Just know your role is the biggest thing. So yeah, I mean, to all the kids out there, I mean, you see those videos of I'm guessing you saw the video of the 3rd graders talking crazy.
I was on the controversial side of like, basketball should be fun, but yeah, I mean, they knew what they were doing with that.
Yeah, it should be fun. And you see kids now, like once they see a camera, they turn into a different person. So, I mean, you definitely just keep the game simple. Don't worry about outside noise, who's watching you, anything like that. Because that's where you're going to be successful in college, and if you play professional, even at the high school level, just do things that'll get you on the court, whether your role is being a hustle player, person that rebounds, person that can hit open shots, person who can find other players open. So I think, yeah, just keep it simple. That's the biggest thing that I've learned over the years. You don't have to be flashy or anything like that.
Plus the time spent on those different things, you could just be what are you gonna do more of? The double spin through the legs or take elbow jumpers coming off a screen 6,000 times, like
Yeah.
in the course of a game. So yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I wanted to say that, like, yeah, it's not necessarily your games aren't flashy, but you guys are working yourselves into NBA picks. So like something's gotta be learned. Somebody can learn something from that, you know?
Yeah. Like Keegan and I, like in the off season, like we spend probably 45 minutes to an hour in the gym. It's just like hard work. So you don't have to spend 2, 3 hours there. Like if you want to, like 45 minutes to an hour, just hard, get a really good sweat going, work on what you want to work on, have a plan for when you go into the gym. Is what we did a lot. And just, that's how you like reap the benefits. You don't gotta spend 2, 3 hours there just working on like BS and between the legs, step back threes. Like that's just.
No, it makes sense. So I'll get you out of here on a couple of these. So you obviously touched on your brother.
Yeah.
You're both golfers, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what's your go-to club? What's the best club in the bag?
My best club is my 3-wood. I use it for everything.
Yeah.
I golfed in high school all 4 years. And like I used to use it on par threes. A 3-wood. I used to just like slap it and it would work honestly. But I used to not be able to hit an iron for my life. So that's what I would use on par threes. But
Aren't
no,
you guys like scratch though? You played at like a what, 4 or 5 handicap?
no, now my best, I was probably at like an 8 or 9. So
Yeah, well, that's
I
because
was
you're
respectable.
focusing on basketball too much. You got to get back and get
Yeah.
back on the golf course.
Yeah. Now I'm probably like a 15 to 16. Like it's
Oh,
not
really?
great.
All
Yeah.
right.
Not great.
You'd still be pretty good in scrambles. All I can, if I break 100, it's a good day. So I'll
Yeah.
recruit you for a couple of scrambles. We'll go maybe win a prize. Now that you know that we're connected, that's all you can really ask for. You break 90, you're in a good spot. So I think
Yeah.
you're underselling yourself.
Yeah. I'll be like 85 to 90 usually. That's usually where I'm at every
Yeah.
single time.
And then, so this one's my favorite. I heard this story on the McCaffery's podcast. You and your brother are playing golf. You don't have cash on you or something. You left it in the car.
Yeah.
It's time for a hot dog on the turn, which is a tradition. What happened when you ask your brother, who, mind you, recently signed a multi-million-dollar deal in the NBA, for the hot dog money?
Yeah. The timing of it was crazy because this was in July. The draft was in June. So this was in July after he did the summer league. So we were out golfing with my friends or whatever. I didn't have my wallet on me. And I'm like, Keegan, yo, can you just like buy me a $3 hot dog? Like I'll pay you like when I get back. He's like, no, go with your said no, go with your wallet. I'm like, Keegan, you just signed what, 2 years, $14 million contract. Like, I don't think a $3 hot dog is gonna break the bank too much for you. Still said no. And then one of my buddies had to buy it for me, which is that just shows you that the guy Keegan is. He's stingy with the money.
$3 isn't too much,
dude. Not even
spare $3.
Not even $3. Probably, maybe that is insane. Come on, Key.
Well, listen, maybe he's watching those 30 for 30s and reading the stories about people going broke. So at least he's financially, and we're in a recession, so at least he's financially responsible. But that, to me, like, you can't spot me a $3 hot. That also too is like brother rivalry, like, or just screwing with each other on the golf course. That really made me laugh. So listen, obviously Thursday's a big one. Obviously, I think it's gonna be a great one. Rooting for you guys the rest of the way. Keep shocking people as you rise to the Big Ten. So thanks, Kris.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Rico.